How you holding up? I just want to say that some fucking blogger recently called me Stephen Elliott's sidekick, and I am going to fucking kick that guy in the thesaurus really hard. That is not okay. So, so apropos of the porn raffle, recently Stephen asked me to meet him at kink.com. And so here's what happened. Here's my field trip to kink.com. You get there, you go in, and I had to sign a release that said, I acknowledge that I'm over 18, and that by entering the premises, I agree that I will see graphic sexual activity. And then I went to this room, I met Steven, some shit happened, and I was like, hang on, I have not seen graphic sexual activity, and we signed a contract. That was a promissory note. And so where is my... and so he was like, well, let me show you around. So we start walking around, and we meet this woman in a bathrobe, and some words are exchanged. I didn't understand what was happening. It was some kind of kink.com code that only Stephen Elliott speaks. But the next thing, the woman sat down on a chair, opened her robe, she was naked, and then was like, it was some of that. And for the people in the back, she was masturbating. And it wasn't in a room, there wasn't a camera, there were just some people standing around being like, interesting. So I can see it. I know that this is a monthly Rumpus event, and so this being here tonight for all of you is fucking foreplay, and you're all gonna go home and fist each other in a minute. But I'm not normally part of that type of activity. So there was a part of me that was just like, what are you doing? And I realized that I'm not even, like, I'm not discerning about nudity. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not around enough naked people that I don't know masturbating to be able to be like, oh yeah, that's a good one. Or, that's not working at all. You're fucking it up. Like, it's like, oh, she's covered in naked. You know what I mean? So, you all know me, and let me tell you what's going on. I am a comedian, I'm a father of twins, and I'm a union organizer. And that's not the funny part. People ask me if I have jokes about the labor movement, and I always say that it's tacky to make fun of the dead. It's my life, don't groan, fuck you. So people always ask me, like, gee, comedian, union organizer, and father of twins, like, how do you juggle all of those things? That seems like a lot. But actually, I do one thing, which is tell people things they don't want to hear. I just go from room to room to room. It's a continuous conversation that I'm involved in. It's like, we're going on strike. The Holocaust is funny. You can't wear all your clothes at once. It's one thing to me. I don't distinguish the activities. But, here's breaking. So I don't mind revealing to you that I've decided to, after spending my entire adult life, which, if you're counting, is the last 14 years as a union organizer, I'm taking a break from the labor movement to focus on my comedy. And it freaks me out for a couple of reasons. One is, like, I need to find a part-time job so to make sure that I can eat while I'm focusing on my comedy, but I'm totally unemployable. I feel like I'm an ex-con, because my only skills are union. So it's sort of like being a union organizer looking for a job not as a union organizer is like, hi, I don't know how to do anything except destroy your business. But I promise I'm out of the game until you fuck with me, and then I will bring you down. That is the only thing I'm good at, is destroying people's businesses. Also, like, I'm a little bit freaked out. It's interesting to me. I'm about to be a civilian in the class war for a while. Do you realize? I've not been this for my whole life. Like, I'm a red diaper baby. I grew up on the left in San Francisco. My earliest memories in the movie Milk. I went to fucking marches. Other kids' parents read to them from Curious George. My father read to me from Take the Road to the Machine Tool Workers of Shanghai by Mao Zedong. That was sort of that was my scene. And so, like, do you realize that there are people who go to work and then go home? I know! It's fucking crazy. Like, there are people who, like, on the weekends, will run errands. It's fucking exotic to me. Like apparently some people do, when they watch the news, when they're watching Rachel Maddow, do not feel personally indicted by everything that happens. Like when I watch the news, I'm like, oh, fuck you, Rachel. Now it's one more thing I've got to handle. I got to go and fix that situation, whatever it is. Healthcare reform, it's my problem now. It's like everything is addressed to me personally. It's like, Nato, you better get to fucking work, buddy. So, which brings me to my next point. The country is fucked up right now. I think we can all agree on that. And America's white, so since the election of Barack Obama, white America has just fucking snapped. And it's the Tea Party movement, and here's my theory about what happened. And we're like 98% white people here, even though it's a mission district, they're over there. So we can be honest that we're among friends. White people can't handle hope. Let me explain. I had to do some ethnography, listening to people of color, to understand this, but apparently people of color experience hope as a feeling. Like, oh, how nice to feel hopeful. Back to suffering. We experience hope as anticipation. A down payment of things to come. I feel hopeful, so where's my shit? If Langston Hughes had written the poem A Dream Deferred about white people, it would have been a much shorter poem. What happens to a dream deferred? Where's my fucking shit, or I will kill you right now! And take your shit. Too soon? So, and that's basically what happened, and that's the Tea Party movement in a nutshell. So white America was like, oh, the black president let us down. Release the Kraken. And we know, we all have those relatives that we're ashamed of, the illiterate, angry, deranged, psychotic relatives. We keep them in a cage in the basement. And we let them scamper about for family reunions and county fairs, have some honey baked ham, go away. It's the Kraken, it's the Gimp from Pulp Fiction, it's Sloth from Goonies, the Rancor from Return of the Jedi, the Heir of Slytherin, what have you. The movie Quills. And then we just let them out. It was like, oh, the black president let us down. Here's a Red Bull and a Twinkie, go. Ah, birth certificate! And that's the Tea Party movement. Fucking Sarah Palin keeps speaking in public for no discernible reason. The forbidden offspring of Ronald Reagan and the Jersey Shore. I feel like, okay, I'm going to talk about our side for a second. Our side, and by our side I mean people who don't believe that the world should run on greed, intolerance, and stupidity. And if you agree with that, then you're on my side. And if you don't, you're in the wrong room. And I wish you the best of luck in the marina. Our side is, we need to come to terms with the fact that our side is losing because we're irritating. We are not fucking winning the war for civilization because people don't want to be around us because we're fucking downers. It's like, let's have a forum to debate whether things are really bad or really, really bad. Let's get into that. What are you doing tonight? I spent my Friday night recently at the Unitarian Church listening to Bernie Sanders. Like, the reason our side is losing is because we have 600 white people who think it's a good idea to spend a Friday night listening to a 70-year-old man say statistics for an hour and a half. And that's a good time. No wonder we're fucking losing. Do you know that they are preparing for war out there? They are preparing for fucking war in the heartland of America, and we are preparing for brunch. We are not ready for the... Out there, they're learning to shoot machine guns and live on ants, and we're not going to be able to defend fucking freedom and democracy and tolerance with sun salutations. Do you realize that? They're going to be marching over the pass from Tracy, where they make them, to get us with burning torches and Uzis, and we're going to be like, hang on, I need to limber up. You can't kick down a door in Uggs. It's not going to work. We need to fucking step it up. Berkeley? Fuck Berkeley. Berkeley is the most liberal, tolerant city in the world, it is legal and encouraged to plot to overthrow the government there, but not to drive around the block. I was in Berkeley, I was looking for a parking place, I drove around the block, next thing I knew I was 50 blocks away in Emeryville. I was like, oh, I guess I'm going to Home Depot now. I'll have to find a day laborer to go park my car in Berkeley. I want the fucking streets to run with blood and Tahiti, because fuck Berkeley. And everyone there, our side is annoying. That's my point. Because people are like, I marched in the 60s, so I want that parking place. Fuck you. And you're free Tibet bumper. Free Tibet, and you're evicted. It's fuck them. So, what else? Cafe Gratitude? Fuck Cafe Gratitude. In order to work there, you need to go to Burning Man and have a degree in women's studies and been molested. You're fighting me. You're fighting me on that last detail. I'm just saying, okay, I've lived in San Francisco my whole life. I grew up in the Castro. I know the fucking scene. Don't tell me that I'm the only person in here who's ever just met someone and been in a conversation and after a couple minutes been like, that dude's been molested. You know what I mean? Like, there are some people, like, some people, they walk in a room and are like, oh, that guy knows how to handle himself. He knows that I bet he can fight. I bet that guy looks athletic. I bet that person looks like a dancer. They have rough hands. They look like working hands. Sometimes you meet someone and be like, oh, this person knows how to provide sexual pleasure against their will. They just have that look. I'm just saying that happens here. It's not an endorsement. It's just true. Sorry, it's true. So, Cafe Gratitude is this positive and affirming and whatever, but it's also a restaurant. And like every other restaurant, it works the same way as every other restaurant, which is that there are immigrants in the back. And so what it means is like, you know, Pedro, remember what I said about separating the compost from the recycling. If you fuck up again, I'm La Migro. No? All right. Any questions? Do you want me to be done? So they are, the other side also, so for some of them it's about the apocalypse. And that's weird to me as a Jew. I don't know if it's obvious, I'm a Jew. But I've had to get into it to understand what was happening with the apocalypse there. So there are 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. War, pestilence, famine, and death. Clearly, death is implied by the other 3 horsemen. I think we can all agree that the worst thing about war, pestilence, and famine is death. War, pestilence, and famine without death are irritating, but arguably do not rise to the level of apocalypse irritation. War, pestilence, famine without death, irritating, not the apocalypse, maybe a bad Burning Man. I would just, so clearly in this kind of economic time, I think we can agree that death is the redundant horseman of the apocalypse. And during the final reckoning, you might want to free up a horse. I would surmise that during the apocalypse, it'll be handy to have some extra horses around. That's all I'm saying. Before I wrap up, I have 2 more things to talk to you about. One is, I have these sort of irrational compulsions around food, which is that I have 2 gears, and there's a literary connection, so get ready, because you have homework. There are 2 gears that I have. I have hungry and full. And by hungry, I mean that food exists and I can reach it. And by full, I mean about to vomit. And we have that expression like, I ate myself sick. And we don't really say that about anything else. We're not about anything else are we like, where the definition of goodness is defined by the proximity to badness. Like, we don't talk about things in that way. Like, we wouldn't say, I fucked until I almost got AIDS. But not quite. And drunks have a continuum. I don't have a continuum as a glutton. Drunks have a continuum from like, you know, tipsy and buzzed and lit and wasted and plowed and hammered and trashed. And because drunks are better writers than gluttons. And we need, for gluttons, we need a better word than satisfied or satiated, like a more, or something between hungry and full. We need more words for that. Because I have all these creepy rationalizations for my eating, like, do you do this? I deserve a treat. Or, well, I'm here. Like, if there's a parking place in front of Arizmendi, God wants me to have a scone. That's what that means, obviously. Also, because I'm a Jew, I think if I eat a lot of free food, I'm saving money. But if I don't eat all the food that I paid for, I'm wasting money. And it's reinforced by restaurants, because in every restaurant the waiter will come up to you and say, "Are you still working on that?" No wonder I'm a pig. I'm fucking, oh man, I'm not a glutton, I'm employee of the month. I need a union here. I can't lose my job. I've got a lot of riding on this. This is my pension plan. So, I have a plea for help, which is that you all know me. If you come to the Rumpus a lot, you've seen W. Kamau Bell and Janine Brito. And the three of us have a comedy tour called Laughter Against the Machine, frequently with Hari Kondabolu. We'll be in Portland later this month with Margaret Cho, actually, at the Bridgetown Comedy Festival, so Portland lady, come to that. This is an appeal for help. What we want to do as Laughter Against the Machine is we want to make a comedy tour documentary. But not just any tour documentary. We want to go do a comedy tour to the most fucked up places in America. Like Arizona, we want to go to Arizona, we want to go to Wisconsin, we want to go to Dearborn, Michigan, we want to go to New Orleans, and we want to we're like a comedic peacekeeping mission to the fucking flashpoints of the American, intolerance and polarization, and where people are most freaked out, and see if they can take a joke. And either they'll be able to take a joke, or we'll be chased around by angry mobs. Either way, that's a good documentary that I would want to watch. So if you want to pitch in either with funds or any other way that in the production of a thing, talk to me during the intermission. And you can also, if you like me, you can follow me on Facebook or Twitter. And if you didn't, I'm on MySpace. I'm Nato Green. Thank you very much, everybody. Good night.